Do you ever feel like your city or town is as crowded as the porta potties at a chili eating contest? Well, despite how it feels, the reality is that populations in the West are nosediving, and a lot of people don't even know that this is a major problem because they're still operating under 20th century worries about overpopulation, even though once we got to the 21st century, we've been facing the exact opposite issue, because there's only about like 5 Western nations that are above replacement rate, and I don't really want to go into the details of why population collapse is actually a serious problem, because there's a ton of videos on YouTube you can look up about that, and I'd rather just get to the point and share a solution of literally one thing that will solve this problem, and that is for dads to do more chores and more childcare. One of the main reasons a lot of women hesitate to become mothers is because they know that they're likely going to have to carry 95% of the weight of family life. Like moms are doing dishes, doing laundry, handling child meltdowns, doing drop-off, pickup, making meals, staying up with the baby, setting up doctor's appointments, and on top of that, they're probably still working a job 20 to 40 hours a week, and women don't want to do that anymore. You can't really blame them. Moms are tired and overworked and underappreciated, and moms, if you're listening, leave a comment below with your story of how you feel overworked and underappreciated. Also, real quick, I'm Andrew. This is my co-host, Oakley, and we're currently accepting donations in the form of subscribes or any form of raw meat. But anyway, how many times have you been at some kind of dinner event, and after everyone's finished, the women are cleaning the dishes in the kitchen while the men sit on the couch and watch football? And a lot of this is a generational divide. Older women just seem to have been conditioned to accept their lot in life, but millennial women and younger will usually just tell you to get your ass up and help out, which, full disclosure out of the gate, I'm really making this video for myself to listen to on repeat because I still have a long way to go with all of this. Like, honestly, I've been a bit intimidated by my wife because she can just really get shit done. Doesn't matter what it is, I feel like she can just do about double the tasks that I can accomplish on a given day, and that's just a good challenge to me to have to step up my game, because the world is evolving and men have to evolve too if we want to keep up. A lot of our grandpas never changed a diaper or fed a baby a bottle, and it's not going to fly anymore. And I know you're tired when you get home from work, but like, guess what? So is your wife. Suck it up, be a man, and do what needs to be done. Like, I hardly have any hobbies anymore because life is just work and keeping family alive, and I don't want to make parenthood seem like doom and gloom, because it's not, and we're finding more and more creative ways to make our parenting more efficient and outsource some of the work, and I'll get into that in a minute. But first, it's worth mentioning the fact that dads, once you get to a point where you're feeling exhausted and like you're just doing way too much, congratulations, you're now working half as hard as a mom. You don't have to carry a human inside of you. You don't have to wake up every 2 to 3 hours to feed the baby. You don't have to deal with the physical complications of pregnancy and childbirth. You aren't the person who's expected to do all of the domestic and kid-related work by default, which, let it be noted that we've got 3 kids, and I had my wife review this video, so I can officially say that it is mom approved and certified. Also, disclaimer, I'll state the obvious things that, like, we really don't have much control over, like that employers should pay more livable wages and the government should subsidize childcare more. That would help a lot. Also, with population collapse, like when we visited my wife's cousins in Sweden, they were just wrapping up their 1-year paid maternity leave, and maybe one day America will become a civilized first world nation and we'll have affordable healthcare and other basic things, but until then, men just have to man up and do more work at home or make more money to pay someone to help out with the domestic workload. Or another hurdle of all this is that American culture is so extremely individualistic. Like, historically, moms weren't expected to just be locked in an indoor, cube with their kids by themselves for most of the day. Like, they lived in villages where there's a lot of overlap with other moms and other kids and extended family, and it sucks that that's not the world we live in anymore, but it is what it is for now. So here's some examples of the types of things we've tried out that seem to have helped. First off, I sleep with our newborns for about 6 months until they can sleep through the night, because even when the baby starts to sleep decently, they still make a lot of noises and cooing and things like that throughout the night, and my wife is just a lot more sensitive to those noises, and it wakes her up, and then she can't go back to bed, whereas I can sleep through it a lot easier. So once the baby is actually hungry in the night and starts crying, I'll wake up and go wake up my wife on the other side of the house for her to come feed the baby, and that way we're co-sharing the work and the tiredness to some extent. And another thing we've done is we'll both go to a coffee shop to get out of the house and work, and I'll strap the baby in the carrier and have a little stand-up desk, and I'll put a link to that below, because that stand-up desk has been a lifesaver for my back and my neck, even without the baby. Just like, it's been a game changer. I've also adopted my work schedule to where I do a lot of the kid drop-off and pick-up from school or the grandparents or whatever, because thankfully my schedule's flexible and I do a lot of remote work, so I often only get in like a 6-hour work day and have to squeeze in some extra work time here and there after the kids have gone to bed. But really, I'd rather make some money in the evenings anyway than watch TV for an hour or two or whatever it is that Americans do. Just this week, my wife was sick, which hardly ever happens, and I thought, man, I do not want to lose another work day right now. But then I realized, well, I'm making this whole video on how to be a good partner, and if I were in her situation, I'd really want someone to be around to help with the kids. So I came home for lunch and stuck around for the rest of the day so she could nap and recover, and I just had to fill in some of the work time at night. And I know that not everyone has a flexible work schedule like I do, but whatever your schedule is, you just have to get creative and make it manageable for both you and your partner. Also, I'm not great at noticing tasks to be done. It's just not where I excel. Isn't that right, Oakley? Not as detail-oriented. So my wife has gotten better at just communicating tasks to me, like, hey, can you do this or that? And then it's like, sure, I didn't even notice that, but now that I'm actually given a tangible task, I can check it off. These are just the tip of the iceberg of all the things I've been doing. Where are you going, Oakley? Stick around. Yeah, it really is just the tip of the iceberg, because I'm like the kid who got the most improved award, not because I'm excelling, but because I went from doing a horrendous job to now I'm just doing pretty okay. I just try to be conscious that my wife has a lot that she wants to do with her life too, and she also doesn't want to spend all of her time doing dishes and laundry and other chores. And then there's one more route I want to talk about, and at first this will sound like I'm contradicting all that I'm saying, but let me explain. So I kind of hate chores. I have so many things I want to do with my life, from spending quality time with my kids and family to creative projects to making a film to and 1,000 other things. So I hate doing menial tasks that anyone can do, like mowing or dishes or laundry. I would rather do something that I enjoy that can make money and pay someone to do the things that I don't enjoy. And maybe that's classist or whatever, but it's just how I feel, like how I want to live my life. And I know this economy is pretty rough, and you don't even have to go through a lawn care agency or a cleaning agency or whatever. You can just find a neighborhood kid and pay him $20 an hour for a few hours once a week to come help out, because time is the real currency to me these days, so I'm willing to plan whatever I need to into our budget so that I can spend more quality time with my wife and kids and doing creative projects that I want to do. So I really think this one thing, like men stepping up and helping more with the house and childcare, is the central key to women being more on board with having a family. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe so that Oakley can afford his child support and become a better father himself. And here's a slideshow of him as a reward for making it to the end.